Question number 1. Which is our features of a child-centered K-12 curriculum? 1. Inclusive. 2. Exclusive. 3. Gender sensitivity. 4. Culture sensitivity. Choices are A. 1 and 2. B. 2 and 3. C. 1 and 3. D. 1, 3, and 4. Based on RA 10533, also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act or K-12 law, the DepEd shall adhere to the following standards and principles in developing the Enhanced Basic Education curriculum. A. The curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. B. The curriculum shall be relevant, responsive, and research-based. C. The curriculum shall be culture-sensitive. D. The curriculum shall be contextualized and global. E. The curriculum shall use pedagogical approaches that are constructivist, inquiry-based, reflective, collaborative, and integrative. F. The curriculum shall adhere to the principles and framework of mother tongue-based multilingual education, MTB-MLE, which starts from where the learners are and from what they already knew, proceeding from the known to the unknown. Instructional materials and capable teachers to implement the MTB-MLE curriculum shall be available. G. The curriculum shall use the spiral progression approach to ensure mastery of knowledge and skills after each level, and the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on the respective educational and social context. The production and development of locally produced teaching materials shall be encouraged, and approval of these materials shall devolve to the regional and division education units. Moreover, it was not stated that it should be gender sensitive, but gender sensitivity is promoted in the schools nowadays. Thus, among the choices, exclusive education is not part of the features of the K-12 curriculum because it advocates selection of the students based on status. The answer is letter D. Question number 2. Filipino contract workers in the Middle East find the lifestyle, behavior, and culture of the people there very different from that of the Philippines, especially for women. What sociological phenomena do the Filipino overseas contract workers suffer from? A. Cultural gap. B. Cultural conflict. C. Cultural shock. Or letter D. Cultural diffusion. When we say cultural gap, it is any systematic difference between two cultures which hinders mutual understanding or relations. Such differences include the values, behavior, education, and costumes of the respective cultures. When we say cultural conflict, it is a type of conflict that occurs when different cultural values and beliefs clash. It has been used to explain violence and crime. And culture shock is the feeling of disorientation experienced by someone who is suddenly subjected to an unfair culture, way of life, or set of attitudes. And lastly, when we say cultural diffusion, it describes the spread of one's culture's practices, beliefs, and or items like food, music, or tools. This spread can be among members of the same culture or to completely different cultures around the world. The answer for this item is letter C, cultural shock. Because when we say Filipino workers in the Middle East find the lifestyle, behavior, and culture of the people there very different from that of the Philippines, they are actually suffering from the feeling of disorientation that they have experienced because they are in unfamiliar culture, way of life, or set of attitudes. Question number 3. Social control should also be practiced in the rural areas. Which of the following is the most popular means of social control? A. Rumors. B. Law and ordinance. C. Alienation. D. Public opinion. Among the choices given, the only social control is law and ordinance. Law and ordinance are both regulation passed by the legislative body to maintain peace in the society. So the answer is letter B. Bravo. Law and Ordinance. Question number 4. Which is the progressive approach for transforming education that holistically critiques current shortcomings, failings, and discriminatory practices on education? A. Multicultural education. B. Peace education. C. Disciplinary education. Or letter D. Values education. When we say multicultural education, it is a set of educational strategies developed to assist teachers when responding to the many issues created by the rapidly changing demographics of their students. While peace education, letter B, is the process of acquiring the values, the knowledge, and developing the attitudes, skills, and behaviors to live in harmony with oneself, with others, and with the natural environment. On the other hand, discipline is defined as the practice of teaching others to obey rules or norms by using punishment to correct unwanted behavior. And value or values education is the process by which people give moral values to each other. The correct answer for this item is letter A, multicultural education, because we are actually looking for a progressive approach. And multicultural education is set of educational strategies developed to assist teachers. Hence, that this multicultural education is used by the teacher to address the needs of the diverse cultural learners in the classroom. Question number 5. Which of the following is a formal way of acquiring education? A. Enrolling in a correspondence school. B. Attending public forum. C. Going to historical places and museums. D. Attending rallies and demonstrations. The correct answer for this item is letter A. A formal way of acquiring education is by enrolling to a school accredited by the educational authorities. Number 6. Movement of people up and down the ladder is called A. Locational mobility. B. Geographical mobility. C. Horizontal mobility. Or letter D. Vertical mobility. Movement of people in the social ladder is called social mobility. There are two types of social mobility, namely horizontal mobility, which shows movement of people in the stratification, but there is no actual change in the status. On the other hand, vertical mobility is the movement of people up or down in the social ladder, which shows significant changes in the social status. Thus, the correct answer for this item is letter D, vertical mobility. Number 7. Mrs. Katrina Bello accompanied her students to participate in the community cleanup for the community activities. What pillar of learning is reflected? A. Learning to know. B. Learning to do. C. Learning to be. Or letter D. Learning to live together. The 4 pillars of education is explained through the diagram shown on this PowerPoint presentation. Allowing your learners to participate in a community activity, such as community cleanup drive, is a manifestation of learning to live together. Hence, the answer is letter D. Because actually, when we allow our learners to go out in the community and help to the cleanup drive, there is the social communications that would occur to the learners and to the community. And this kind of process will help learners to inculcate into their mind their role as peacemakers in the community. So once again, the answer is letter D. Number 8, recognition of the rights of others or recognition of the rights of other people is on the aspect of A. Learning to live together. B. Learning to know. C. Learning to do. Or letter D. Learning to be. So once again, we have here the diagram of the 4 pillars of education. So as we could see, recognition of the rights of others is a formula of conflict resolution. It is manifested in the learning to live together. So hence, the answer for this item is letter A. Number 9, which of the following is not relevant to learning to live together? A. Human diversity. B. Interdependence. C. Empathy. Or letter D. Personal competence. Among the choices, personal competence is not included in the values inculcated by learning to live together. Personal competence shows competition, which we try to avoid when we teach our learners how to live socially with others. Therefore, the answer is letter D. Personal competence. Number 10. It is the issue of occupation training. Letter A, learning to do. Letter B, learning to know. Letter C, learning to live together. Or letter D, learning to be. Occupation training is defined as the result of teaching and learning efforts designed to equip workers, employed or unemployed, for a given occupation or job. It is actually stress in learning to do. So the correct answer for this item is letter A. Learning to do. Number 11. Which program in the educational system seems to be aligned to the Christian humanitarian principle respect for the human personality? Letter A, the Alternative Learning System Delivery. Letter B, the Functional Literacy Program for the out-of-school youth and adults. Letter C, the promotion of the basic human rights of the Filipino. Or letter D, the study of the Philippine Constitution. Both options A and B are aligned with the social responsibility of the government to the people. Option D is part of the effort of education and government to develop responsible and upright citizen. And option C, though it is somehow related to option D, but basic human rights is aligned in Christian humanitarian doctrine because it recognizes equality and social justice, which is the advocate of Christianism. So the correct answer for this item is letter C, the promotion of basic human rights of the Filipino. Question number 12. Mrs. Aquino, an English teacher, encouraged her students to write an essay about their ambitions. What pillar of learning is exhibited? A. Learning to do. B. Learning to know. C. Learning to be. Or letter D. Learning to live together. Now, if we will try to see again the diagram that I have provided on my PowerPoint presentation, writing an essay about one's ambition is enhancing self-awareness and developing self-esteem. So when we talk about self-awareness and self-esteem, these are all aligned in learning to be. So the correct answer for this item is letter C, learning to be. Number 13. An industrial arts teacher demonstrates how to make a table to his fourth-year high school students. He wanted his students to be able to apply the theories and procedures in woodworking. His desire to equip his students with skills is inspired by A. Learning to know. B. Learning to do. C. Learning to be. Or letter D. Learning to live together. Now, let's try to see again the diagram that I have provided on this PowerPoint presentation. The teacher taught the theory and procedure first in woodworking based on the question. But as we go along reading the question, we could notice that the teacher emphasized the application of this theory and procedure. Once again, let us stress the word apply, meaning all the things that the students have learned on the theory and procedure will be applied on how to do woodworking. So therefore, the application of theory and procedure is stressed in learning to do. So the correct answer is letter B, learning to do. Number 14. The famous saying, "United we stand, together we can make it," insinuates what pillar of learning? A. Learning to know. B. Learning to do. C. Learning to be. Or letter D. Learning to live together. Now, based on the diagram that we have here on this PowerPoint presentation, united we stand, together we can make it shows cooperation and unity, which is inculcated in learning to live together. So the correct answer for this item is letter A, learning to live together. Number 15. I am enriching myself I am an inventor of techniques and a creative dreamer falls under A. As I know, B. As I do, C. As I live with others, or letter D. As I want to be. Okay. The phrase I am enriching myself, I am an inventor of techniques and a creative dreamer talks about one's ambition, which falls under learning to be. Hence, the answer here is letter D, learning to be. Number 16. It is where attitudes, behaviors, customs, and values are refined. Letter A, church. Letter B, home. Letter C, office. Or letter D, school. Attitudes, behaviors, customs, and values are first inculcated at home, but it is refined at the school. The lessons about attitudes, behaviors, costumes, and values taught by the teachers is an evidence that these intangible components of the culture are polished in the school. Usually, these are taught in mga kabayan or in the Araling Palipunan subject. Values, however, is taught in to the learners through values education, which we integrate actually to the different subjects in the schools. So once again, the answer is letter D, school. Number 17, which can be an innovative solution to the problem of high rate of absenteeism in rural areas where most pupils absent from class during the planting season. A. Refusing readmission of pupils who have been absent for long. B. Observance of seasonal school calendar. C. Giving lecture to parents to the importance of schooling. Or letter D. Keeping a record of absence for information. Now, if we try to dissect the question, our keyword here is the word innovative. An innovative way to cope with the high rate problem in absenteeism is through changing the school year calendar. It is better if we have semestral break during planting or harvesting season. Technically, no students will be absent on that because there is no class. A kind of coping mechanism that we could make in our schools, or it can only be achieved in our schools when higher authorities can think of it. Now, if we'll go back to the question, option letter A, refusing readmission of pupils who have been absent for so long, is a thing that we cannot do in the school because we are actually not allowed to refuse students on readmission. No? But the better way of that is to accept them for them to be in the school. And then when we have the giving of lecture to parents on the importance of schooling, actually we have been doing this one for so many years. We're doing this one every year, but we cannot get rid of the reasons, especially when you are assigned in the book in the far place or in the rural area. You cannot actually get rid of the reasons of absent because they have helped their parents in planting, because that is actually part of their culture there. So what we're going to do is just to observe seasonal school calendar. We try to move the school year, or we try to have a semestral break on planting or harvesting season. So once again, the correct answer for number 17 is letter B. 18. The Filipino character reveals weakness like the following except 1. A. Colonial mentality. B. Extreme family-centeredness. C. Extreme personalism. Or letter D. Solidarity. Colonial mentality is the adoration of the Filipinos to foreign things, such as thinking that foreign products are better than Filipino-made. Extreme family-centeredness is originated in Filipinos' close family ties attitude, while extreme personalism refers to the extent to which one is able to relate personally to things and people determines the recognition of their existence and the value attached to them. All three characters are negative. On the other hand, solidarity is a mutual feeling of support among people in a certain place. Thus, among the characters, solidarity is the positive one. Because when we talk about solidarity, it is actually the mutual feeling of support among people in which they cooperate and they have unity on their area. So the correct answer is letter D. Number 19. Which trait is shown by the father who spends his earnings on his favorite food, drinks, movies, clothings, and barkada? A. Considerate. B. Selfish and irresponsible. C. Practical. D. Conscientious. A father who spends his earnings on his favorite food, drinks, movies, clothings, and barkada is clearly manifesting a selfish and irresponsible attitude. A person who is selfish loves only himself, and an irresponsible one is not driven to do the task entrusted to him. So once again, the answer for this item is letter B. Selfish and irresponsible. Number 20. What kind of problems should be used in schools in order to relate them to real life? A. Neatly structured. B. Decontextualized. C. Highly contextualized. Or letter D. Simple and clear. Contextual education is a method of teaching and learning based on a constructivist theory where information is presented in a way that students are able to construct meaning based on their own experiences. Everything is studied within the physical, social, cultural, political, economic, and personal circumstances, characterizing real-life situations, the subjective mental and emotional processes that prompt human action, and the creative role of individuals in the collective social process. Students are able to process new information or knowledge with reference to their memory, experience, and to knowledge already acquired. The opinions and perspectives of students are valued, and so are the students' life, context, and prior knowledge. Along with teaching and subject, there is a constant emphasis on establishing relationships between the subject and all other subjects, between the data and the circumstances in which it was generated, between the lesson and the learner, and between knowledge and life. So the correct answer for question number 20 is highly contextualized because it is related actually to the real life situation of the learners. These are actually lessons that we give to the learners for them to be used outside the school. Number 21. According to Confucius, what is the best way to rule a people and attain harmony? A. By allowing people to do as they please. B. By consulting the guard. C. By force. Or letter D. By moral example. Confucius was a Chinese philosopher and politician of the spring and autumn period. The philosophy of Confucius, also known as Confucianism, emphasized personal and governmental morality, correctness of social relationships, justice, kindness, and sincerity. Among the choices, only letter D adheres to the moral teaching of Confucius. So the correct answer is letter D, by moral example. Number 22. A good number of Filipino parents and single young adults have voiced their strong objection to divorce and birth control legislations. This behavior is a manifestation of an attitude that is deeply rooted in our A. Colonial mentality, B. Religious belief, C. Folkways and mores, or letter D. Native culture. One cogent reason why Filipinos oppose the idea of divorce is because of the influence of the Catholic Church. This influence was passed down to us during the Spanish era, and until now, we always uphold the sanctity of marriage. So therefore, this is actually the factor that hinders the approval of divorce in our legislative body. So the correct answer is letter B, religious belief. Number 23. In which grade is mother tongue used as a medium of instruction according to the law? Letter A, K2 grade 3, Kinder 2 grade 3. Letter B, Kinder 2 grade 1. Letter C, Kinder 2 grade 2. Or letter D, Kinder only. Based on RA 10533, also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act or K-12 law, mother tongue-based multilingual education is taught and used from Kinder to grade 3. So the correct answer is letter A, Alpha, Kinder to grade 3. Number 24. The state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels. Which government program is in support of this? A. Exclusion of children with special needs. B. Free elementary and secondary education. C. deregulated tuition fee hike. Or letter D, reintroduction of NET and NSAT. Based on Article 14, Section 2, Paragraph 2 of the 1987 Constitution, it states that elementary and high school education in the Philippines are both free. But take note that only elementary education is compulsory according to the Constitution. So therefore, to promote and protect the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels, the correct answer for number 24 is letter B, free elementary and secondary education. 25. Which exists when teachers modify their teaching in the ways that will facilitate the academic achievement of students from diverse racial, cultural, and social class group. A. School culture and social culture. B. Equity pedagogy. C. Prejudice reduction. Or letter D. Content integration. The correct answer for item number 25 is letter B, equity pedagogy, because this is a teaching strategies and classroom environments that help students from diverse racial, ethnic, and cultural groups attain the knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed to function effectively within and create and perpetuate a just, humane, and democratic society.